Hey guys, how you doing? This is Dave. We are back for another video, a little bit of an unveiling today. You can maybe kind of see it a little bit to my right here. It is our latest project as the Cutlass is kind of changing what I plan to do with it. The car over here to my right is going to start getting a makeover. It's something I've been planning for a while. Finally starting to get to the point where I can actually start collecting some parts for it. Well, how about enough talking? Let me introduce you to her. All right, so you can see her back there. That's I've had this, I guess now we've had it for probably, oh man, since I was a senior in high school. So now probably before that. Now I'm thinking about it. Let me do a little bit of math here. I graduated in 2000, so it was probably, I want to say 98. It feels like it was a little bit before. I think it was a sophomore in high school when we got it, but here she is. It is a 1968 Pontiac GTO. 400 TH400 transmission, hideaway headlamps. You know, we got it a while back. Paid, if I remember correctly, we didn't pay all that much. When I say we, it's because this is actually my dad's GTO. And you know, with the recent health issues that he had, maybe kind of reevaluate the cars that I was working on. I want to get this car up and running, get it perfect, and get it so you can enjoy it. But see, it's a this is not the original color. It's supposed to be a Vedura green, and I'm gonna move some stuff around so you can see it. But it's Rally 2 wheels, and his Hurst shifter, and I'll get in there. Vinyl top. Don't worry about the that's my splitter that I'm not currently using. But let's do this. Let's do under the hood first. All right, guys, so here we are under the hood. Sorry if there's a little bit of shining on my face. I got the floodlight on it just to show you what's up. But you can see at one point this was repainted. This engine was actually rebuilt in the early 2000s. We ended up breaking a few ringlands because we weren't, the motor was a lot higher compression than was originally told. Still the iron heads, but we do have an Edelbrock intake on it. There's a Holly carb on here. See if this thing, okay, it still turns. It's feeling a little rough, but we'll just pull this off so you can see it. So, I mean, you can see the carb's quite clean. I mean, it had electric choke on it. This engine ran great. When it ran great. There's some electrical gremlins on this thing. You know, a big surprise. Somebody jacked with the ignition. We ended up putting a Pertronix igniter on it to eliminate the points, and it works a lot better. I mean, the points were great. My dad had it dialed in beautifully. But for what I want to do with this, you can see, like, oh man, wow, some very redneck engineering going on this thing. But that said, I'm going to replace all the harnesses on this thing: engine harness, chassis harness. I'm going to do the which we'll call interior harness. We're going to do this car upright. Like I mentioned, this is originally a Fedora green car, and you can see it in a little spots. I'll show you a little area in the door jamb where we found out we're like, oh crap, and then we looked and we saw the whatchamacallit, the build sheet said that it was a Fedora green car. So black interior, his, her, auto. I'll go on there. I'll show you all that stuff. But we're gonna go. I'm going to actually eventually. You can see it was power brakes, but it's power drums all the way around. This thing doesn't stop for shit. We're gonna definitely fix that. We did actually ended up redoing all the suspension, which is great. I mean, the car rides nice from a suspension standpoint. So what we're gonna do is we're kind of gonna evolve this build. I want this so that my dad can end up just hopping in and driving it. It does need some body work, really, really bad, and I can show you that in a couple spots when I pull the camera off of there for now. But this thing is, oh God, what a mess. Let me see. Oh, man. So this thing is barely holding on there. I have to work on that. But it was hideaway headlamps. My dad rebuilt all of that. It's a non-AC car. Maybe at some point we'll switch it over to AC. But let's get inside the interior and take a look around. All right, so there's no battery in the car right now, but you can see there's getting some mold issues in here from just sitting. That'll actually clean up quite nice. I've had to do that before, but you can see it's a his-her shifter. Gonna redo this entire interior. We're gonna put some nicer seats in it. Gonna keep the steering wheel. We're gonna keep the dash very fairly standard for what it is. But you can see all the moldings and everything have dry rotted on it. Even though it was in the garage, it's like you can't even touch it. But it's you can see the seats are ripped. You know, my dad drove it for a while there, just enjoying it, but the rug's all faded. It needs a restoration. It's not terrible, but it does need, you can see that whoever, had the bezel, they painted it gray. It's kind of dumb. Vinyl top, and here it is. Here, if you own a GM A-body, here's your arch nemesis. Look at that crap. You can see it's just literally falling apart from there. This piece of trim is barely hanging on, and if you take a look kind of along this, you can see all the bubbles. That's textbook rot, but luckily they remake all those pieces. So be able to restore this, and you can see it's actually like right here, a little bit of bubbling, but luckily they remake all this stuff. So it's actually gonna be pretty easy to restore this. And you can see I got some stuff piled in back here, but the bumper was a repro. At some point you could see it's flaking, it's bubbling off, bubbling all over the place on the back of that. But, it needs a new exhaust. But we're going to do this thing in stages, right? So, I'm going to be racing the SS. We'll be doing that, having fun with the SS. We're going to toggle back and forth. The Cutlass is going to go on hiatus for a while. I didn't say I was getting rid of it. I just said it's going on hiatus for a while. So, more to come there. But for this guy, like I said, we're going to do the interior. Clean this all up real nice. We're going to redo the wiring. We're going to pull all that out. You can see that rat's nest. Oh, boy. Oh, this is the risk you take when you buy a used car. But we got a smoking deal on it many, many years ago, so I don't really care. This baby's going to be back to glory. Oh, and I didn't show you. Let's see. You can definitely see it on the driver's side. Let me see if we can see it here. No, you can't see it. Somebody did the door jamb here. But over on the driver's side, see, so on the driver's side, sorry, extreme close-up, you could see where they didn't do a good job painting the jamb, and you can see the Fedora green paint job there, so the original paint on it. But yeah, she needs work, right? It's a Rally 2 car. It's a cool car. I'll highlight the build as we go along. Very simply, first order of detail, get this thing out, get her running again. I'm going to pull the engine trans out. We ain't doing anything. We're not rebuilding the engine. We don't need to. We just got to make sure that we fire it up properly. Do the proper steps to get the oil moving around in it. We'll fire her up, get her taken care of. If we do have to rebuild the motor, I'll do that. I've done it before. It's not that big a deal. Transmission should be good. It's got a 12-bolt rear end. I want to say that it's like a 323 rear, something like that. So it's a good cruising gear. But we're going to leave it the 400 transmission. Going to leave it as it is. But one thing I am going to probably end up doing on it is, because I can't leave well enough alone, eventually. I probably will redo the suspension again, and we're probably going to end up doing, let me get this camera gear out of the way here. Oh my goodness, such an amateur. But what I would like to do is change up the suspension, lower it, go with the 17-inch Rally 2s with fatter meat on it, upgrade the brakes. You know what I'm thinking of. I'm thinking of the same stuff that was on the Cutlass when I had it. If you remember what that was C5 Z06 brakes. Little upgrade, get it a little bit bigger. Make sure that those Rally 2s could fit over it. If not, I got another set of wheels that I'll definitely get for it that I love. But the big one, the one we need to do anyway because the fuel system's jacked on this. I'm getting rid of all that crap. Block off plate. We're going with Holley Sniper EFI on it. It can run with the Pertronix igniter. Nothing wrong with that. I'm not fixing what isn't broken there. I will redo the wiring, but we're going to go Sniper EFI. They got a spread bore version that I'm going to show right here. And what's cool about this is that this version, I can get in the gold color, mimics the Quadrajet, which my dad loved, and the tank that Aeromotive sells, which I'm going to show here. It comes ready to go for 500 horse, ready to rock and roll. This is not that. This has like a Ram Air 3 cam in it. And then we'll just get the lines, run it to the front. I figure with the Sniper EFI and what we want to do on that, you know, well under, I can do pretty much everything I want to do to this car for, oh, exhaust. Got to do exhaust. But for 10 grand, I can get this thing, less than 10 grand, I can have this car running and driving incredibly. And then we got to spend the money on the body and the interior and all that stuff. So for this one, it's going to be kind of cool because I'm going to try to be extremely detailed on every dollar I spend on this thing, how much it was. We're going to do a tally and all that stuff. I'm going to keep the hideaway headlamps. I may switch it over to the new electric version that they have because right now it still runs on the vacuum system. And there's something up with the damn switch. So we'll fix that. We're going to get this thing as good as new. We're going to watch the evolution of this thing. You're going to love it. Stay tuned. Thanks for watching. This is going to be another big build like what the SS was. Oh, and I got a little surprise for you guys. Next weekend, Cecil, we're going to race. Their opening weekend. I'm taking her there. We're going to go do some damage. All right. I'm shooting for that 9s. Hang around. I don't care if it's a 9.99999. That's what we're going for, guys. All right. So stay tuned and catch you on the flip side.